Welcome back to Young NFL Analyst, and today we'll be talking about the Tennessee Titans defense. Tennessee Titans defense ended in a heartbreaker last year with their loss to the Cincinnati Bengals, which not only was hurting them as a defensive unit, but as a team because their season ended. You held a team to 19 points. 19 points in almost any NFL game is one of those that you say, man, we did our job. We did it. We held them to what was necessary. But when your offense turned the ball over as much and things didn't really go right on that side of the ball, it ends in a loss. And either way, whether you did your job or not, it ends in a heartbreaker with your season ending. Now, looking at this defense, what is this defense really good at? They're able to get a lot of pressure. Last year, they had 43 sacks, which is one of the top in the league. And then you had a 51.7 red zone touchdown percentage, which is actually very good. And then they were 6th in points per game, which obviously is amazing as a defense. And then you're looking at this D-line. What did they do to it? They have a guy in Danico Autry who's been there, Jeffrey Simmons. They have Harold Landry and Bud Dupree. They brought their guys back. They're 4 main pass rushers. And then you have, your safety who's the man who holds it together, Kevin Byard. He's got the secondary talking, he's got the linebackers, and one of those things that Mike Vrabel, you can tell from his defense, is there's a lot of trust. They're able to hold their gap. They don't, play outside of themselves. They just do their job, as Bill Belichick would say, which is Mike Vrabel's former coach. Which is why when you're looking at Vrabel's teams, they're very Belichick defense-esque. They may not be to the level of Belichick because there is only one Belichick, but he's able to have everyone do their job, which is what Belichick preaches. So with this defense, his cornerbacks are young, but they do their job. His safeties, they may not be the biggest name. Kevin Byard is one of those top names, but a guy like Armani Hooker, he may not be the biggest name, but he does his job. You got Zach Cunningham as your middle linebacker. Formerly, you had Rashad Evans, you had Jayon Brown. Those aren't the biggest names, but they do their job. And when you have everyone doing their job on the back end, that allows those 4 pass rushers that I named earlier to get to the quarterback and allow those 43 sacks to happen consistently. Which is one of those things when they sacked Joe Burrow 9 times in the postseason game against the Bengals, it was, wow, look how much pressure they're getting because they were just attacking this defense, and when they were covering Jamar Chase, they were covering T. Higgins, they were covering C.J. Uzama, and they were stopping Joe Mixon, and they were limiting these guys on this offense. It allowed their front four to go get Joe Burrow. And that held them in the red zone, that held them in, around the 30, that held them around the 40, made them punt a couple times. And when you have that defense, it does so much. And now they're adding another guy from Auburn in Roger McCreary who's going to help out this defense even more when you have a guy like Caleb Farley, Christian Fulton, and now your veteran becomes Buster Skrine who can help pass along the knowledge and information that he has and, kind of uncoach or coach them up by taking what the coach is saying and kind of breaking it down for them. Hey, we want you to do this, rather than the way what he's telling you is this, and he's kind of breaking it down for them, being the veteran of the group. Which is why this Titans defense is not only one that works well with themselves, but also works cohesively with their offense. With how their offense is played, where they run 8-minute drives consistently. They have those 10-minute drives. They run the clock way down, and now an offense that may be a pass-happy offense is out of rhythm. Their offense is breaking down because of, you saw it with the Chiefs last year, you saw it with the Rams. When their offense would break down because they weren't on the field for long enough periods of time, then it caused them to sputter it and, fall in a downward spiral. So that is why the Titans are one of those scary teams who, when they're right, you really don't want to play. Which is why in December, January, and February, they're one of the scariest teams in football to play. And they've been in the AFC Championship. They've been every single round of the playoffs. They've been there, except for the Super Bowl. They've been wild card, divisional, conference championship. They've been to all those 3 levels and been close to getting to their goal, which is getting to a Super Bowl and trying to win one. Which is why they have the experience and why they're really one of the scariest teams in football to really go up against. And when you have another team in their division who plays similarly like the Colts, it creates a really cool and really entertaining AFC South battle, which will be one that people really have to watch, because the winner of that division is going to be the scariest team in the postseason.